Everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of our weekly coaching webinar. So I'm really excited that we're going to be doing this today. Um, many things in our company we plan out well in advance. When I do a YouTube live or when I do whiteboarding sessions on Facebook Live, we literally have these things planned out 2, 3, 4 months. I think we're already booking our content out for August now. But these webinars are very unique because these are webinars the only thing I do where I decide the topic that we're going to cover the day of the event. And the reason I still do that with these weekly webinars is because I always want to talk to you guys about what we're doing right now in this moment that's working really, really well. I don't want to talk about what we were doing 3 months ago. I want to talk about what's going on right now in our world that's working really well. And webinars are absolutely the biggest hit that we've seen over the last maybe through the lifetime of our business. So we're having a ton of success with this. We're finding that we can average about 125, 130,000 plus per sales per event. That's even with not me speaking, with a rookie that's never even done it before doing the actual presentation that we've tested. That's speaking to cold audiences, not even to our own database, i.e. this is something you could do, right? Even if you're not me and don't know the stuff like the back of your hand, even if you don't have a lot of experience presenting on webinars, even if you don't have an audience, what I'm going to show you today, we have proven again and again and again that you could still generate 6 figures in sales doing a 90-minute event. And I'm going to give you everything you need here to be able to do so. I'm going to give you access to a ton of resources. I'm going to give you access to the emails we're using, the PowerPoints we're using, and everything to do this. I don't think I've covered anything similar to this till about middle summer last year. And to be honest with you, a lot's changed even in the last 90 days with how we do these webinars. So it's important that I decode this process for you all the way from getting JVs to what JVs are, to how to find them, to how to approach them, to what to say, to emails that go out before the webinar, after the webinar, the presentation itself, everything through this process. So I'll start by saying that this is an area that I really screwed up and let our company down. When we first started here at Credit Suite, this is what we did. This is how we started, was webinars. We did a webinar. We taught for 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes later, we did a presentation demo of the finance suite. This is what we did for many, many months when we first started. I would say most of our first year. And then unfortunately, I just kind of thought, we don't want to pitch every time we do a webinar. So let's maybe do some webinars that are just content. And then eventually it just came to a point where all of our webinars were content and we no longer did any kind of pitch whatsoever. And that we did for many years. And then we decided that instead of doing sales and discounts and promotions, that what we were going to do was start doing a webinar a couple times a year. And that's what we did. And they were always a success. And then Jim Dingus came in our company, and he's a sales manager now that runs our sales team and our finance team. And Jim taught me something I didn't know. He got an arrangement with a JV partner, and the JV partner agreed to do a webinar and host it on our behalf, the same webinar that you're seeing right here, the $250,000 webinar. And we did it. We did it at the end of last year for him, and it was insane. We did over 128,000 in sales to a cold audience, an audience that we had never done a webinar for before. They didn't even know who we were. They didn't know what the product was. They knew nothing of it. And when it was all said and done, we did over 128,000 in sales. So this was astonishing to me. I've taught you, I've always believed that you have to get people into a sales funnel and nurture them to get them to buy what we are selling. But this was the first time ever I realized that in 90 minutes, we could get in front of a cold audience that didn't even know who we were, and that we could go through this exact presentation that I'm going to give you and that I'm going to show you today, and that we were able to take them from not even knowing what business credit was, not even knowing who we were, all the way through a process of knowing who we are, of knowing the product, of knowing what business credit is, and wanting to spend thousands of dollars to get started. So again, this was eye-opening to me because I realized for the first time ever, we can get in front of cold audiences to sell. And I also realized you can do the same thing. You don't have to go through this large cultivation process of sales funnels that we go through and that we've always taught. You can get people into these webinars following the same steps and having the same success. As I mentioned, we even tested this with Steve on our team, who will be taking my place at the Credit Cruise or Credit Boot Camp this year. And And we even gave him a few shots at this and had the same success. He's pitching, he's doing the presentation, he's going through, and we still realize we could get the same closing percentage, make the same sales, make the same volume, even with a novice doing the presentation. So we've realized we could do this to cold audiences, and you can too. We've realized that even novices could present, and you can too. It's just a matter of having the right formula, which we're going to decode today. So where to start? Well, first of all, let's start with what JVs are. So JV partners are basically partners that JV partners are basically people that JV is short for joint venture. And this is a joint venture checklist that I'm going to give you guys access to. A JV webinar. If you're hanging out through the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you access to all these resources. You'll be able to get this and everything else I'm going to show you here today. You have to understand this is our branding. This is not anything I made for you to go in your back office. I'm giving you the raw resources. So it all has our branding, our name. You're going to have to remove some stuff, but you're able to go through these resources, find out what you like, what you don't like, and modify them to your use. So a JV webinar, a JV is basically a joint venture partner. And what we look for with JVs is, and what you should look for is very simple. Does the person have a database? If the person has a database of about 10,000 people or more that they email, then that is somebody that's a good JV partner. If they have less than 10,000, you have to really be careful, because we've tried to help people with 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 person email databases. What we find is that these people are very inexperienced marketers. They're not even familiar with how to set up and blast emails out. So they require triple, quadruple, 5 times the amount of time as somebody that has experience. So when you're looking for JVs, you're looking for somebody that typically has an email database size of about 10,000 people or more. You're looking for somebody that regularly emails that database, meaning that they're not going to just blast something to a list that they have never blasted to before. They're emailing this database regularly. The database is used to getting their emails, opening their emails, etc. And 3, preferably, which isn't always going to happen, they're used to producing affiliate offers to that audience. Their audience, their email database is used to getting email content from them, from affiliates, and used to buying things from those people. So the first person we ever did one for was a GKIC member. GKIC is Glazier Kennedy Insider Circle. They are marketers. So he understands marketing. He built an email database. He markets to them regularly. He puts affiliate offers out there. He hit all the criteria, and that's why the webinar was a success. We found people that don't meet one of those criteria. They don't have a huge database. The problem is they don't even know how to set up the emails. We spend 5 times as much time trying to teach them that. We've went to people that have huge databases that don't blast them. And what happens is when they start to email the database, their email providers won't even let them send out that many emails, because their email providers know that they're not regularly sending out so many emails. So I'm telling you those 3 criteria for a reason. Somebody that has 10,000 or more in their database, somebody that regularly emails it, and preferably, if you could, somebody that presents affiliate offers. The first 2, save you time. Again, if you have somebody that has 10,000, then they are already used to sending emails. You're going to save that time. If you have somebody that's sending emails regularly, you're not going to have to worry about getting the email blast delivered. They will be delivered. And the third thing is, if you have somebody that's already presenting affiliate offers to their database, they are conditioning their audience to buy. So that means when their audience sees somebody come and present to them that's not the person that owns the database, they're used to selling. They're used to being sold. They're used to buying things from those affiliates. So they're conditioned to buy, and that's the trifecta. If you find those people, that's going to give you the best result. Where do you go to get those people? Well, that's something we're still learning right now. My best advice is to go to LinkedIn and start to find whatever criteria you can find to start narrowing those people down. Go to everybody that you know first. I'm logged in here as Bob. So go to LinkedIn. And when you go to LinkedIn, find anybody in your database that you possibly know. Go to your network, see who's in your network that actually may be a viable candidate. Have a VA go through here. Look for certain criteria. You can get LinkedIn's upgraded plan, and you can go through and really narrow down the people. Find people that are marketers. Find people that go to GKIC, et cetera, et cetera. When you find them, well, then get in touch with them. My best advice to you, and this is done through, there's something called Linked University, or Josh Turner. He teaches a lot about this topic. One of the best things to do to get in touch with people is find your list of people to go through and then message them, but don't ask them for anything. Don't sell them anything. Just introduce yourself. If you already are connected, then say to them, get them an article on building business credit that you think is valuable from Entrepreneur, from Inc., from SBA, from a million sources. Send them an article and say, hey, I know we're connected on LinkedIn, and I specialize in business credit building. I saw this article on building business credit I thought you might enjoy. I thought I'd send it your way. Do that 2 or 3 times. Send them something of value. I saw a great page the other day that had all of the first startups, or all of Facebook and Amazon. It showed what these websites looked like when they first started. And it was the coolest article. And it was so cool to see those sites. Something like that's a lot of fun that somebody's going to get. If you send them a message and say, hey, I saw this and I thought this was awesome. And since we're connected, I thought you may love it. It's what Facebook and Amazon looked like when they first got started. So what you're doing now is you're conditioning these people to understand that when they get when they get an email from you or message from you, it's not you soliciting, it's not selling, it's an approach in, like we all take the approach in, of providing value. The next thing, if you do that 2 or 3 times, go on your 3rd or 4th time and say, hey, I know we've been connected here for a while, and I've kind of talked to you a little bit about business credit in the past. Would you be, and just ask them flat out, say, we work with a lot of our JV partners to teach their audience about business credit. Their audience learns about business credit, and they earn really high commissions. Would this be something you're interested in? My advice is not to send that message the very first start with LinkedIn, because if you do that, you and I, we all get solicited every day from LinkedIn to a point where we're numb and we ignore anybody that comes in with a sales approach right off the bat. If you send them 2 or 3 messages before, then what happens is they already see, and I'm in Bob on our team's LinkedIn profile because I was adding it to our live leap, but you can already see here that, people are going to get a message from you. And then what happens is they look back to see if you've reached out to them before. Okay. So again, what this is this is, this is funny. Congrats on your work anniversary. Thank you very much. Congrats. Thank you, sir. Trying to be like you in the Credit Suite team. We do all this time. We have a VA come in and congratulate people every day on their work anniversaries and birthdays. LinkedIn lets us do that. It helps us build this kind of message. So when somebody gets that message from you, they open it up and they see that you've already conversed. They see that you've provided value 2 or 3 times before, and they're more inclined to respond to you than if you just send them a heavy-handed sales message to try to solicit them. So that's my advice. Same as our philosophy's always been, right? Provide value to them in advance by coming in and saying, hey, here's an article with this. Here's something I thought you'd love. Here's something else. Hey, by the way, we are, doing this for our JV partners. I thought you may be interested. Well, might you be interested in this? If so, I'll send you over some information. Hey, nonchalant, they're typically not going to ignore you because you provided value to them in the past. If they say they're not interested, no. If they say they're interested, then so be it. Then I'm going to kind of take you to the next stage of the process. So once you've done this, once you've sent this, then the next thing you do is you actually see if you can jump on a phone call, talk to them a little bit more. Talk to them a little bit more about what the actual process is to be able to do this kind of webinar. Now, I'm going to give you access to these emails that we send that are basically mapping out in order every step of the process. So the very first one we send is joint venture webinar opportunity we discussed. Thanks for considering our exclusive joint venture relationship. We're passionate about helping business owners obtain business credit, We're honored to have helped, over and A+ rating, credibility stuff. And fortunately, most business owners don't know anything about business credit, nor do they know where to access capital. This is why we're excited to partner with you to help your prospects and clients get the insider secrets, Click here to access a video walkthrough of our joint venture webinar process. Once you click, you'll see how we use the webinar to educate subscribers, This is our email. So webinar video, and I think you could find that probably in one of these links. So it's not going to work for you. You're not going to be able to use our video. But what I do is a video where I throw up what's called Screencast-O-Matic, which allows me to record my screen. And I just walk them through and show them what I'm showing you. I say, hey, look, when we first start the webinar, we send out these invitation emails and I show those. And then we get people into the webinar. And then here's our webinar PowerPoint presentation. You can see we teach them all this stuff about building business credit, the benefits, and how business credit builds works. So you can see that we're providing your audience a ton of value. Even if they don't buy anything, they're getting a bunch of value and they leave really feeling fulfilled and have a good education. And then, at the end, we offer them an opportunity to get started and actually buy from us. And when they get started, you get paid a commission. Okay, and that's basically what my video does. It walks them through the whole process. After they attend the webinar, here's the emails that go out to them after they register, and here's our process for selling them during a webinar. I did about a 10-minute video that just explains what the process is, shows them the PowerPoint, shows them the emails. This lets them know that we know what we're doing. They see we have a professional presentation. They see their audience can't be threatened because they get education. They see that we have all these emails that I'll show you in a few minutes here laid out to be able to deliver it. They know we have a system that's already done. That gives them the peace of mind to then want to typically take the next step. Okay, the second macro is after we come back, we've talked to them again. We've confirmed that they want to do it. So here's webinar swipe file delivery. Please, and these are instructions to my team. Congrats and welcome to our exclusive joint venture partner community. We're excited to be working with you. Look forward to our mutually beneficial relationship. Click here to download your webinar promotional emails to send your prospects and customers to promote our business credit webinar once you've downloaded these emails. So the bottom line is the second email, we're sending them the emails to send to their database with instructions of what to do. I'm even going to give you the document where you can see what we send, and I'm even going to give you what we send too, so you have it. Then the next one we send is commission, your webinar payments. Okay, on our webinar, we're right around the corner. This means you'll soon be earning commissions. Click here to download the files. I'm going to give you this file today with the documents we send them, an ACH payment and a W-9, just basically what they need to get paid. So what we're doing here, the first email was just to tell them, hey, this is what this is about through a video. The second email we send them says, hey, here's the emails you're going to send. Here's exactly what we need you to do in this process. The only thing we need you to do is send these emails. The third email basically says, hey, the webinar's coming up here. I need to make sure you get paid. This gets them excited. It still keeps them committed to what's going on because now we're talking about getting them paid. Okay. And then we come in and we do the automated swipe file. And what we're saying here is, hey, look, we're excited to be doing this. And we find that the number one reason people don't show up is because they're scheduling conflicts. So what we do is we come in and we send automated webinar invites to everybody that couldn't make it. Click here to download our automated webinar swipe file. And these are all the emails to promote the automated the webinar. So what we do is we record the main webinar like this one's being recorded, and then we play it as an automated webinar. We use Webinar for that, which is Webinar Jam's automated webinar. You could use Evergreen for that, which does automated webinars, and GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar and has an automated webinar. We plug the video into the webinar and we make an automated webinar out of it as well. Okay, so that's exactly what we do there. And then we come in and then this is something you don't have to do. This is an extra that sometimes we do. We invite them to a podcast, because what we find is a lot of people will agree to do the webinar and then they don't end up sending the emails. We have issues. So after that, that's why we came in and said, okay, now we get them excited. We talk to them about their payments. We talk to them about how they'll make even more money after the webinar is done. We invite them onto our podcast if they're a big enough player to be an actual, to be somebody we interview to promote their business on our podcast, which is, again, one of the benefits of why you should have a podcast. So here's a series of what we're sending them through email, but we're doing most of the work by phone. This is about building relationships. If you want to be successful doing JV webinars, and again, you could do this for your own audience as well, then you need to build relationships, which means you need to find that person, take them from LinkedIn or anybody else that may have a database and fit those criteria we talk about. What you need to do is build trust and credibility and rapport with them. You got to get them on the phone. You got to talk to them. You got to get to know them, learn about them, listen to what their needs are, and then talk to them a little bit about how this can help. Remember, they're concerned. They don't want their audience to be hard sold. So let them know that our primary goal is to provide education to the actual audience. Okay. Then the second goal, you want to come in and you want to make sure that you let them know that, our second goal is to get them paid. You want to work out a commission structure to get them paid. We have different commission structures based on, I hate to say this word, but I guess the value of the JV. Is this a JV that has an audience of 10,000 people that hasn't done this very much? Or is this a JV that has an audience of 30,000 people that they market all the time that's used to getting affiliate offers? We're going to pay somebody that has more value to us more money. period. And the experts that do this all the time are typically going to demand or want more money from us. We know that. The people that don't do this a lot don't need as much money. So how much of a commission do you pay? Well, if we make a $3,000 sale, we're not afraid to give up about 25 to 30% of our commission to that JV. We're not afraid to give them $500 to $1,000 of that $3,000 sale. And the reason for that is because that's about how much money it takes for us to run an ad to generate a lead anyway. So we're not paying any more or less. We're paying the JV what we would pay to normally advertise. So we're okay with that. What you pay them, you can do that based on what you want to. But we're typically paying them about $500 to $1,000 per sale is what we're paying them. So we're building the relationship on the phone. We're using these emails to teach them every part of the process to get them the actual emails that they're going to use to promote the webinar. Now, when we talk about the emails that promote the webinar, here they are. It used to be that all we did was do this first one that you've seen. Okay, we basically do it just like we do any other webinar. We talk about the webinar, and then we come in and we basically give all the bullets, and then we do a wrap up. The new emails that are all in this folder I'm going to give you guys, and again, if you're hanging out to the end, I'll make sure you guys have access to the link to get all this stuff. So with this, you're basically able to come in and you're able to deliver a bunch of different emails. I think we have, how many emails do we have here? We have 6 emails. So they could be sending it 6 days in advance. And these all promote the webinar. The first one gives an overview of what we're talking about and the bullets. To sound too good to be true, I don't blame you. We've worked on this for years. The second one, headline, smaller email. Is this webinar for you? Yes, if you want money for your business, etc. So this is a combination of longer and short emails that are all designed to basically promote the webinar. And this is what you'll put in your CRM if you're scheduling this for your own database. This is also what you're going to send to the JV so they can promote the webinar as well. And you'll have to make some changes because some of this references us on the very beginning, but most of it doesn't. So this is pretty much just copy and paste. It's a swipe file, so you could definitely swipe and use it. Then I'm also going to give you access to the automated webinars. So we have even more emails that are different that are done through automated to promote the automated webinars. So we've got all these emails to promote the webinar and the automated webinars. We don't deliver all to them at once, as you see. The reason we have different emails is because we don't want them to get overwhelmed. We want to piece it together. First emails, hey, here, this is how all this works. They commit and they say, I'm ready, let's do this. We schedule a date for them to do the webinar, and then we send them the emails. Hey, it's real simple. All you have to do is schedule these emails to go out. We can even help you with that if you want help. Our virtual assistant will even do it if you give them access to your CRM. Whatever you want, we'll do. Then we help them get that done. Then once that's done, then we say, okay, look, now we want to get you paid. It's exciting. Get excited. It's time to get your check. Here's a couple things to fill out to get you paid. And then they get that to us, and now they're good. And then we say, hey, by the way, here's an automated webinar if you want to promote this. Some do, some don't. Some don't want to keep promoting it. Some don't want to send 12, 15 emails to their database. That's okay. So we send that separate. And then, sometimes for the higher level JVs, which we rarely do, we invite them to the podcast in that email 5. So these are the emails that we're basically sending out to them to let them know about the webinar, the customers. So all they have to do is set up this. So let's think about what this process looks like. You are going to a JV that has an existing email database, and you're basically asking them to send emails to their database promoting an event you will host. And in doing so, all they have to do is send 5, 6 emails. And in doing so, they basically get a percentage of the sales, whatever you work out for them. Is this lucrative? I'll give you an idea. The last one that we did, the very first check we cut the JV was $9,000. That's how much we paid them, $9,000. Those were for the first people that signed up. Now, of course, a lot of people pay payments. A lot of people in our database will sign up at later points in time. So this JV probably has 7 to 10 future checks to come from us. But the first check they got was for $9,000. And all they literally did was send 6 emails to their database to make that $9,000. And we'll send them a bunch of more money as well through future payments. So they probably have at least another $10,000 plus coming. So they'll make $20,000 plus for sending 6 emails. Not too shabby, right? So it's something that's well in the JV's interest. We do a presentation in a way where we're providing tons of value to their database. Their database isn't going to go, look, scumbag, why did you invite me to that webinar? Those guys are crooks. Because we spend 70% of the email educating and teaching and helping them understand things they don't know how to do. And then the last 30% we actually use to present the demo and then do a demo of the finance suite and then come through and present and close. So people love that they get valuable information even if they don't buy. Okay, so that's the basic process to get this set up with the JV. Or if you're doing this on your own, these are all the emails you're going to need to set up your automated webinar and you're going to use to set up the main one. Now, the reason we did all these different emails, even though we knew that one worked so well, was when we got with high-level JVs, they expect this. They want to see a swipe file. They want to see all different content. This is what shows them that you know what you're doing. So we've learned this the hard way. We've lost JVs because they're like, where's my swipe file? We're like, here's the email to send 6 times. They're like, no, dude, I need like 6 emails. And so we've learned, and now we've come through and make it look like a completely professional process. So when you're presenting this to the JVs, they actually know exactly what's going on. Now, once you've done this, then we have post-registration emails, which are right here. You're going to have access to these too. These are basically just emails that lead up to the event that are just reminders of that the event is coming up. And I couldn't find all of ours. I could only find a couple, but the rest of them are basically pretty simple. They just are emails. And again, if you ever want to know this and register for one of our webinars, you'll get all the same emails. But they are just ones that basically say, hey, the webinar is starting in an hour. The webinar is starting now. Here's the webinar link. They're just emails to keep information in front of them, to show them other videos, to show them a little video on the business credit, the benefits of business credit, and just basically reminders that the event is going to occur. Those reminders are what keep it fresh in somebody's mind and help them actually show up to the event. Now, the event itself basically is an overview, and I got all kinds of stuff here, and I'm giving you that checklist as well that I just showed you. And this is basically what we use when we set up a JV webinar. Hey, we reach out to them. We send out macro JV1, that's email 1. We send out email 2. We schedule them, da. So that'll give you some guidance of the steps to take. Now, the webinar itself basically is this presentation, which is 59 slides. What I've realized in doing a lot of webinars, hundreds and hundreds of webinars, is that 50 slides is an hour for me, and it's different for everybody. 50 slides is an hour of content for me. So I have 59 slides here for a reason, because I'm leaving room for a demo. I expect this webinar to run 90 minutes, and I'm pretty much spot on, and I'm leaving myself room for a 20-minute demo. 15 to 20 minutes. So that's why I don't have what should be the equivalent of 75 slides to fill in 90 minutes, because I'm leaving room for a demo in this presentation. So let's look at this from the beginning, and I'll walk you through what we're doing here. So first, we introduce the topic. This is a headline we've tested, I don't know how many times, thousands of times, and we still never beat this control. So we use the best performing headline. We do a little bit about you. This is my credibility slide, talks about my credibility points. You'll have to make your own for whatever experience. You can look at mine as a guide. This is something new I've added. I also now add things about me personally. So I actually put in that slide a little bit about me personally and what I like to do for fun. And I even include a lot of pictures about me and my family as well, because I want them to first see my experience so they know that I'm somebody to listen to, but I also want them to relate to the personal side as well. So this is something new I've added that seemed to have worked really well. What we'll cover during the event. So again, I don't know if you've ever been to a webinar like this, but I see webinars all the time where they talk about what they'll cover, and there's 5 or 6 or 7 things that I really want to hear, and that's what keeps me to the end. So that's why we do this. This is called the objection slide. Most people fail trying to get business money to grow their business. We basically understand that a lot of people in the beginning are going to say, yeah, this sounds really good, but it probably won't work for me. And you know what you're doing and you have experience, and that's why you succeeded. So this is just where we address the fact that, look, you probably think this might not work for you. I get it. I understand the same thing. Here's why most people fail, and here's how I'm going to teach you how to succeed. This webinar is for you if. Okay, so this basically comes in and says, hey, this is for you. This webinar is for you if you want money for your business, basically. Now, it's not a bad idea to add another slide here about this webinar is not for you if you're a crook and all these other things. I took that out. It wasn't providing a benefit for me. A lot of the formula I used here is from Frank Kern's webinar formula, and it just didn't provide a benefit to me. So I removed this webinar is not for you. This is a new slide that I've added that I love. We've got a Facebook group that people are hyperactive in. So I added this slide. This is business credit's the only financial solution you can get regardless of cash flow, collateral, credit. This means that any business can obtain it, even startups. Here's why. A lot of questions I got at the end of the webinar was, will this work for me? I'm a startup, da. So I want them to know that anybody can get it. My newest slide even says nonprofits and startups. Then overwhelming social proof. And I don't mean just this one image. I have over 100 points, I think, of social proof during this webinar in a bunch of different formats, and I'll show you what I mean. Here's people that got approved. Here's all these people that got approved for all this credit. So I start showing all of these people that got approved for all these different kind of credit, the JCPenney, the 4,000, the Amazon, they're holding their real cards. They're talking about what they're buying. It's overwhelming social proof, right? I mean, it's just overwhelming. So it's easy for me to go through and go, here's somebody that got a $3,000 Exxon account with no PG. Here's a $9,000 Amex, and here's a $7,200 fleet card approval, $20,000 Amex card. You can see here, and $50,000 line of credit. And here's a Dell credit card here for looks like $10,000. This is another. So this is how I actually go through this slide. And as you can see, guys, I don't know how many there are here. Well, actually, I do. If I could close the slide and see, I could probably figure that out on bullets. No, it's not telling me number. But anyways, it's an overwhelming amount of social proof right from the beginning. I'm 7 slides in and just providing a ton of proof. Then I get into what business credit is, why it's awesome. These are all benefits of what business credit is. I like this part of it. This is something new I've added. You can be issued a failing score even if you have no credit. I show the failing score. I show there's 0 trade lines. I show that it's a high risk of filing bankruptcy. Then I show that even one account could get you, can fix that. I show a good score, great score, one account. I show they went from bad to really good and that they're low risk. And then I come in and I basically walk them through a series to show them that the more trade lines they get, the more credit they get. And I do it just like this. There you go. Remember that first one we looked at? Here we go. Here's that one that failed. Here's that one that got one account. Here's somebody that has $6,900 recommended in credit with 2 accounts. Somebody recommended for $15,000 with 3 accounts. Somebody recommended for $65,000 in financing with 4 accounts reporting. Here's somebody with $724,000 recommendation of credit, and they've got about 15 accounts reporting. So what I'm doing here is I'm showing them that the more credit you build, the more money you're recommended for. The more money you're recommended for, the higher your credit limits, and the more money you're also able to get when you get loans and credit lines as well. So I'm walking through and showing them that whole series. Every successful business has business credit. Now look at what we're doing here. This is interesting. We're coming in and providing an overwhelming amount of social proof. We already provided a bunch of case studies per se of real results people got, some of them just typing in messages, showing all different kind of approvals and cards. Now we've switched to credit reports. Now we're showing what this process really looks like on real commercial credit reports, which is a different form of social proof. Now we convert to these. And these are basically overviews of Experience Smart Business that just show how many trade lines people have. And we do this looking at all the biggest companies. So when we come in, we look at, Microsoft and Facebook and Apple and Publix. And then we come in and say, here's Mars. They make Mars bars. They have 22 trades. Here's a company that built credit for less than 6 months, has 8 trades. One that built it for less than a year and has 14. So they have 70% as many trades as the Mars company does that makes Mars bars, and they've been building business credit as a startup for less than a year. So again, this is even more forms of social proof. Then I come right into their testimonial. These are partners of ours, the samples. And the last result I just showed where there are 14 trades, this is a case study from them. Now and again, you're going to have to change some of these. These do say Credit Suite, so you have to remove that. But you can see here that now we've switched to another kind of social proof. We are 19 slides into this. We've probably looked at 50 forms of social proof, from real approvals all the way to real commercial credit reports, all the way to real trade lines of all different kind of companies. Now we've just switched to flat out testimonials. Then we come through, we talk about the steps to build business credit. Now you can see it's pretty short. The education of steps is from 20 to 32. There's only 12 slides even dedicated to this process of building business credit, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. So we come through and we do the steps. Then as I get to initial business credit, I start giving examples. Here's people that got stuff today from their Uline. Here's people that got these net 30 approvals. Here's somebody that got another, that got a bunch of approvals. Then I come in and I talk about store credit. So when I come into this slide, and all this is new, we don't have any of this before. We have 5 reported accounts, and you can start to get store credit cards. Then I start to show all kinds of people that got store credit cards, right? So I start to just show overwhelming proof of that. Then I come in to look at one of our clients, Christine, and I look at all of her actual approvals, which, by the way, she's now we're having her on our webinar in 2 weeks. She had $540,000 in business credit she built. She just got a $300,000 credit line, and then she also just got a $15,000 credit card. So she's now secured going on $900,000. We track all of her approvals. We look at her actual reports, and here's some real trade lines from her of land she's looking to buy, of a vehicle I'm not sure if she ended up getting this or not. And then also a lot of these credit cards. And again, some of the stuff you're going to have to block out because we designed this for us. We haven't fine-tuned this for you guys yet. And then we come in and we look at Visa, MasterCards. We look at those results as well. Then we look at more results with Visa, MasterCards. Then we end up with another testimonial. Now, at this point, if I've done it right, I'm an hour into this webinar. And what I've done along the way is I planted a lot of seeds. So when I come here and I talk, for example, about building business credit, then I talk to samples and I say, hey, as you can see here, they got turned down, they were approved. I'm going to show you later why they got turned down and how you can easily fix that to get approved. This is what is called an open loop. In psychology, our brains do not like to have things that are unresolved. So if I tell you, hey, I'm going to tell you this later, your brain's like, okay, I'm going to wait for that answer later. And it's funny because sometimes I open a loop and forget to close it. And somebody gets to the Q&A and goes, hey, man, you said you were going to talk about this and you never did. And I opened like 30 loops and I closed 29 and they remembered the one that I'd forgotten to close. So I'll come in and I'll say, hey, look, I'm going to teach you what they did to get denied on how to actually get approved. I'm going to come in here to talk about credibility. And I'm going to talk about, hey, you got to get your phone number listed with 411. And I'm going to show you later how to do this at no cost. What I'm doing is I'm setting up the demo. That's what I'm doing. So I plant all kinds of seeds here. I'm going to show you how to easily get a virtual address a little bit later as we go through into more content. I'm going to show you, this costs $360 with a company called List Yourself. I'm going to teach you how to get this at no cost, which of course I'm going to show them during the demo, right? So we're going to come in here and then we're going to go into step 2, and you got to get set up with the reporting agencies. Look, they're going to charge you about $2,000 to do this. I'm going to show you later how to do this and get this done at no cost. I'm creating all these open loops that they want closed that can only be closed in the actual demo. Coming in, step 3, you can also get it through the no doc financing. I'm going to show you later how to get this. Okay. And that's what I'm doing. So when I'm coming in, I'm going to show you later how to get the largest selection of net 30 vendors. I'm going to show you later how to get the largest selection and know the underwriting guidelines for these actual sources. It sounds weird when I'm just saying it like this, but as I'm presenting every slide, and then I say, look, I'm going to show you guys later how you can access the underwriting guidelines for all these sources as well. And then I move on. So then I get to this point and I say, look, we still have time here. If it's okay with everybody, go ahead and type in the chat yes, if you want me to show you exactly how our clients do this, how Marlon, for example, got these results. If you want to see how the samples and Marlon and all these people are getting their results, then let me know. Go ahead and type in yes into the chat. The chat will go insane with yeses, because they have all these open loops and they want to see it. Then I immediately go into a finance suite demo. Guys, if you want to see what this really looks like, go to YouTube. It's simple. Go to our YouTube channel, type in business credit, type in 250,000. You'll find one of these 90-minute webinars and you'll see me go through this process, but you'll see I fine-tuned it since the ones that were on there. Now I'm at a demo. And that gives me 15, 20 minutes for a demo. I'm shooting for about, if I'm starting at 5 o'clock at night, which I've done one at 8 o'clock at night and 5 o'clock at night. One caters to West Coast, one caters to East Coast. It's your call, whatever you want to do. Both of them are just as effective, so you know. So if I'm starting at 5 o'clock, I'm an hour into it. I'm at 6, I start my demo. I'm hoping to get my demo done by about 6:15, 6:20 max. It takes me a little longer because I show the partner opportunity. So 6:15, I'm done. That gives me 15 minutes to get into my closing slides. And then I say, again, you want to see how these people actually got the results? Then I go through the demo and I say, hey, look, remember when I told you how you can get 411 listing at no cost? Here it is. Our clients don't pay for 411. That's it. They get it as part of the process. Remember, I told you that I was going to show you how to not pay the $1,500, $1,500 to $2,000 in Dun & Bradstreet. When I get to step 2, here's how we do that. We do all that for you. We get you set up and we save you that $1,500 to $2,000. So all these open loops I've opened, I'm closing during that demo. I'm going through and doing my normal demo, and then I'm like, hey, remember when I told you about this? Well, this is how that works. Remember how I told you get the largest supply of vendor accounts? Yeah, this is where that largest supply is. Remember how I told you can get underwriting guidelines for every source? Yeah, this is where those underwriting guideline sources are. So I'm going through a regular demo, and I'm pointing out and closing those loops that I've opened for them. Now, at this point, I'm go to one more case study, and I talk about here how this person, the only way they were able to get this result was because we got them a bunch of different kind of financing. We got them business credit and we got them a bunch of different kind of financing. And I explained to them that they couldn't do that without the finance suite. The finance suite brings all these different kind of financing places into one. It brings all these financing options into one. It brings business credit into one. That's how somebody actually gets this result. Then I come into what are the closing slides, which is basically 36 to 59. So this is 23 slides. And at this point, I'm going to have to move pretty quick because I'm going to have to get through these slides in about 20 minutes worth of time is all I have to get through 26 slides. That's a lot. So I'm coming in. This is a little psychological thing, meaning if you hear two things that are fact, one after another, then what you hear after it is typically perceived subconsciously as a fact. Look, you're watching this because you want the easiest and fastest way to get money and credit to grow. You're watching this webinar on a computer, phone, or tablet. That's usually a true statement. They have to be on one of those. And this is a true statement. And then you probably already struggled to get the money you need and you're looking for a simple solution. So now we come into why it's a perfect fit. You can get access to both English, Spanish, all the benefits of this. Okay, yours is going to be shorter. Free DUNS number saves you $1,500, and we have all these kinds of financing here, and you can get this kind of financing. Now, this you're going to get rid of because you don't sell the partner program. This you're going to get rid of because you don't sell the partner program. And then I talked to them about, hey, look, if you go to our website, you get a price as high as this. This is called price anchoring. Psychologically, and again, all studies support this. The highest number that somebody is told, the first number, is what they anchor the value to. So if I tell you something is usually $7,000 and that you can get it for $2,500, your mind subconsciously automatically sees the $7,000 as the value. So this is why you always want to have a higher number to reference and then have a lower number of what you're actually trying to sell, because people subconsciously are anchored to this price thinking this is value, and then anything lower than that price is they think is a good deal subconsciously. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I can just tell you what all the studies on this show, and all the studies on this show the same thing. So we price anchor here. There's usually this much money, which is true. If you go look at our ultimate with payments, which is exactly what we say, our top plan with payments is this much. And this is why I always say you should put a higher price on your website. Nobody goes to our website and just buys from our website without usually talking to us first. And if so, it's a disaster. So I can tell you that I have no problem putting high prices on our website, although now we don't really come down on those prices. And then I give them option 1, option 2, which you won't. You're just going to give them one option. We give them options 1 and 2 because we found people were very confused if we only gave them one option and they went to our website and found multiple. So we give them our partner program and we give them our core program. Here's our payments and here's the special. We only discount at $500. We do not do sales anymore. We discount about twice a year. We'll do a special for our database, and we discount through webinars. Outside of that, we don't really believe in discounting because what you and I have is very unique. Nobody else has it. So we don't really have to come down on the price. But on this, we're giving them a savings here. Then I'm coming in, and this is a brand new one that I added. I kind of love quite a bit. It says it will typically take you 18 to 24 months to do on your own what you can do with us in only 6 months. Save yourself the time. And here's why I do this. I found that in business and in life, one thing is more important to you. It's either time or money. Meaning that a lot of people don't enroll with you or I to build business credit because they don't have the money and they would rather dedicate their time to try to figure it out because they have the time to sacrifice. As you become more successful in business, your time becomes very valuable. You'd rather pay somebody to do it for you. I'm trying to address both of those right here. Look, you could save yourself the time by doing it with us. So when I talk to people about here is I say, hey, look, What are you going to do with an extra year and a half, 2 years worth of time? If I can get you money a year and a half to 2 years sooner than you could get it on your own, what would you do? How would your business be different if you could get the money a year and a half sooner? How much can that extra 18 months with limited to no money cost you? If you don't have access to the money that I just showed you how to get, how much is that really going to cost you over the course of 2 years? And you'll be paying thousands more for monitoring, DUNS number, valuations, all the things that you're going to pay for. So save money. So with us, you save time and you save money. It's cheaper to work with us and do all these things on your own, because I just went through on other slides and showed D&B's $1,500, etc. And we're going to save you the time as well. Okay, then I come down, get started. Here we go. We will customize a payment for you. I do not want to lose them because the prices and payments we've shown them will not work. So I tell them, we will work with you on payment. We will work with you. Do not call us because you are afraid of payment. Don't do it. If you can't afford it, then let us know. Let us see what we can do for you. We will work with services like Fundbox Paid, affordable payment option. This is something we've tested. I don't know if you can get it on Fundbox Pay or not. It's their beta program. A lot of people don't qualify, but they basically advance us the money and let people pay over like a year's worth of time. It's pretty crazy. So they let people pay like $250 a year or a month for like a year to enroll. By the way, a lot of you are already pre-approved for Fundbox Pay. So if you guys ever want to use Fundbox Pay to buy prepaid enrollments or our done for you package or our new marketing automation platform, reach out to our team, because our team can help you with Fundbox Pay to be able to use it for other stuff that we have. So we also can help you secure financing. We can help you get the money you need to enroll. All this is an objection slide. I'm saying, hey, man, look, you don't have the money? Then let us talk to us still. Talk to us. Let us talk to you. We have ways we can finance it. We can maybe get you financing to do it. We can maybe use another service to get you money. We can work with you on payments. Don't not get in touch with us because money you think is a barrier. Risk-free. We're going to let you make payments and give you everything with your first payment. We absorb the risk. Get started, the get started link. Bonuses. These are all bonuses you could basically use, except for my published books. You probably want to put something else here. All of these are ones that already come with the finance suite now, so you can have those as bonuses. Guarantee. We give them 100% money back guarantee. Your guarantee may be different than what we have. We do have a guarantee that they'll get a $50,000 in financing through business credit, et cetera, in the first 12 months, and they'll get their money back. We tell you not to promote that very often, because then they think they're getting a $50,000 credit line. So we don't talk about that much, but again, a guarantee is really going to help. And then we recap. We go through everything I just showed you. All the recap is just going through everything I showed, and then I go to this slide and I open it up for Q&A. Q&A will take me an hour to an hour and a half. The webinar is 90 minutes, and I have sat in Q&A for 90 minutes. My advice to you is to wrap up in 60. Tell them, say, look, I'm going to be here for about 45 to 60 minutes to answer your questions. And beyond that, then, I'm going to wrap up. If you still have any questions, then I'll be available by phone and email, and I will sit and answer every question for an hour to an hour and a half. But what I find is that a lot of people in the end are still asking this. They're just asking questions to ask questions. It's the same 5, 6, 7 people asking more and more and more questions, which is why now, about an hour into the Q&A, I wrap it up. That way. And the other thing I'll teach you about Q&A, I do not answer any questions for people that have left. Go to webinar, tells me if the person has left. If the person has left, I skip their question. I only answer questions for people that are actually there, because look, if you ask a question and you're not willing to leave, you're not willing to stick around and have it answered, well, then, I'm not willing to get it answered for you. It's that simple. I'm going to answer questions for people that are there. Some other things important that I think I didn't tell you, but I did address in the very beginning. In the very beginning, somewhere here, I do mention that, bonuses and playback will be offered at the end of the event. So what I tell people is I say, look, if you stay to the end, it will go 90 minutes. Then I'll open it up for Q&A. You do not have to stay for the Q&A. But if you stay for the 90 minutes, I will send you a playback of this webinar. And then I will also tell you how to get some really cool bonuses. Because remember, I told you if they enroll, how they get those bonuses. Don't tell them that you're going to give them bonuses. Tell them you're going to talk to them about how they can get those bonuses. So I tell them these in the beginning to try to make sure that these people stay to the end. Although most of our people stay to the end, which works pretty well. So that is the actual presentation. Now, here's the important part. When this happens, when you do a presentation, by no means, absolutely do not expect to just start see sales roll in. It doesn't work that way. Okay. I do once in a while see 1, 2, 3 sales during the webinar from my pitch. It's kind of rare. It's not even common. It's very common for me to see 0 to 1 enrollments, even when I have 400 or 500 people there to the end. So don't expect enrollments to roll in. What you do at this point is every single attendee to the webinar then has to be served up to your sales team as a lead. If you are the sales team, get to work. Buddy boy, you're going to have a lot of work on your hands because you're going to have to call every single one of those attendees. Hey, did you attend the webinar last night? What did you think? Do you have any questions? You're going to call everyone. So what we do is we round robin this. So we use something called, I think, Plus This. Plus This connects our CRM Infusionsoft to our GoToWebinar, and all attendees that attend the webinar automatically go into our CRM and automatically are round robin to our sales team. So what that means, it means we've got 5 sales guys, let's say, that are answering those. One gets one lead, one gets another, one gets another, one gets another, one gets another. Then it starts over to the first one, etc. So we round robin the leads, and then our sales team usually makes themselves available that night, some of them to answer questions, and I see that work pretty well. My guys that stick around late because they're on the West Coast usually can make 3 to 6 sales that first night of the event, and then most of the work happens the next day and Friday. I do my webinars on Tuesday. I then send them post-webinar emails that talk about the special, that give them access to the playback Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I give them a chance to buy through Friday. There's countdown timers you can get on the website, the checkout page or website as well. Let me show you that. So if you go to, I don't even know if our website page is up right now. If we go to creditsuite.com/webinar, then that's offers closed. So I'm going to go to webinar 1 and see if that opens up. Okay, so I have a countdown timer here. There's several services you can use with countdown timers. I always make sure that the countdown timer is counting down to where the office expires. And as you saw, I don't mess around, guys. When that countdown expires at midnight West Coast time, this is what they see. Sorry, offer closed. That's it. Talk to us more. And then you have to honor it. If you're going to say you're going to honor for a special, do so. This is one we have behind the scenes that nobody sees. And you can see here we have the bonuses and we have the discounts. It's just like our checkout page. We just have the reduced pricing here. If you are now an Ultimate Partner, and you have access to our website, or if you want the done for you, then our website now comes complete with checkout pages, with pricing and all that stuff there that you can modify, which makes it even easier for you guys. So again, I have a page like this that we basically put up, and this is what we use. It's our normal pricing page, just with these bonuses added, with strike through of our original price and the discounted price, which is basically $500 savings or $100 a month. That is the entire webinar. That's exactly how it works. Our sales team follows up. We give them till Friday at midnight, which is West Coast time midnight for the offer. And then what we typically see is a bunch of offers come in, a bunch of sales Friday, a bunch of sales Wednesday post the event, some sales trickle in Thursday, and you do almost all of your sales that week of the event. So a lot of different things you could do to get people to the event. We've already talked a little bit about JVs. This is something we're doing now, which are Facebook ads. Facebook ads, these are videos, which, how do I look at this, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's go to edit and see if I can edit it without messing everything up. So these are the ads that we run, basically. Here's the video, that feeling you get when you just built $250,000 in business credit. Okay, discover how it's done. Free webinar reveals all. Register now. And this is an Instagram ad, but you get the idea. Free webinar, discover how to get 250,000 business credit to grow your business. Includes easy step-by-step details on exactly how to do it. So here is, now these videos we use from a company called Promo. And Promo I love, and you're going to have to buy them in bulk. They're not necessarily cheap. They're about $50 a video. I know, like I said they're not cheap. But if you do come in and you do buy them in bulk or buy a package, you get like so many a month that you can use. These have been pretty these have been pretty useful for us to be able to do. So again, if you want to do it, you can go to let me see if I can even get in. I'm not sure. I don't even know if I can get in anymore. Okay, I think I changed the email. I keep getting so many emails that from everywhere that I just took my email off all of our stuff and use other stuff instead. So sorry about that. I had to find out what the right login is. So this is called promo. You can go to slide.ly.promo and you can basically come in and find all these videos, and then you could just customize them and make them your own. So here's a lot of the videos that we've made. So they're super simple to do. You could basically just use their videos, and then you just modify it and add the text is what it does. You can't hear the music right now, but it's just you simply add the text, the music, the video, it's all done. You're just basically coming in and modifying the text. And there are all kinds of really cool videos that get really good attention. So we're now doing that for a lot of our Facebook ads. So our Facebook ads are now becoming more these videos than what we are doing in the past, which is just static image. The moment you realize how easy it was to build 250,000 in business credit, and this guy's dancing and there's music to it, and then we say free webinar reveals all, register now. So we're now using these kind of videos to promote the webinar. And here's what's interesting. Guys, what we've realized is that we spend about $3 per lead on Facebook to get a webinar lead. So for us to get 2,000 registrants, and I'm throwing out some high numbers, and I understand that, but I'll walk you down. So if we want 2,000 registrants, then that's $6,000 we spend to fill that webinar. Think about it. What we found is that if we fill 2,000 registrants for a webinar, we're making 130 grand. Do I care about spending six to make 130? I don't. So this is what we're testing now. Can we fill an entire webinar from a cold audience? Can we run these kind of ads to cold traffic on Instagram and Facebook that have never even seen us before and get them to register for the webinar and then get them to buy from the webinar? That's what we're testing now. So remember, you can email your own database through the emails. You can come in, you can do ads on Facebook. You can promote it on social media. You can come in and also go to JVs. I've taught you that process. We use Facebook Messenger as well. We build a messenger list. We built a text list. I've shown you guys how to do both. So you can blast your text list, blast your Facebook list to ask them about that as well. There's all those different ways can work to actually fill the webinar. And again, if you want to dedicate even a little bit of money to test, you can run these kind of Facebook ads to test that as well. So look, I've got a lot of resources here, including different webinars. So what we've realized, and you can get all these at creditsuite.com/resources. So if you go to creditsuite.com/resources, you'll see resources from a lot of our past webinars. You'll see today's date. Today's date has this folder. It's zipped. You download it. Once you open it, you'll get those emails. You'll get the post-webinar, post-registration emails. You get the checklist in PDF in Word format. You'll get that to the webinar presentation. You'll get the automated webinars and the initial webinars to do it. But I also included two different PowerPoints for you guys here. The first one, what we've realized is that this works so good, but the problem is we don't want to keep doing the same webinar month after month. So what we're testing now is we're going to do one sales webinar a month that's a different kind of webinar. So this one we did last month, and again, we still did 100,000 plus in sales, same concept. I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing, but this was about 12 credit lines you can get for your business even as a startup. And the beginning slides are much the same, but then this all gets into credit lines. Credit lines, SBA, alternative credit lines, and cash flow financing and business credit cards and unsecured, and then we come in and we talk about business credit and why business credit's awesome, and then we talk about a little bit about, hey, same kind of thing. So we talk about a bunch of different content and business credit, and then we go through the same demo, the same closing process. So this is another webinar that you could do outside of the 250, and I included this one I just did. I'm getting ready to go to two events this month, and I just did this brand new presentation to speak at these events. This is not something you typically do a webinar. This is more of doing a seminar, but I'm threw that in there too because I just finished today. So I thought, well, I'll just throw that in there. So you can come in here and you can look through this and possibly use this. Now, again, guys, this is obviously all in our info. So you're going to have to change some of these. These aren't designed yet to put in your back office. If you're attending these webinars, I'm giving you the raw versions, which means take your time to look through it. You don't need my picture there, right? You know, stuff like that you're going to want to actually remove. You're going to want to come through and look and see if every slide, is there anything here that reflects back to us, and get rid of any of those type of things that do. So you're going to have to modify them, but a bunch of great content that you can use, multiple presentations. As we do more presentations and successfully sell with webinars, I will let you know, but hear me out. When we first started Credit Suite, all we did was every webinar was a sales webinar. So think about every PowerPoint in your back office could be modified to be a sales webinar using some of the beginning and ending slides that you see here that I provided in these other webinars. So you definitely have a lot of different options that you can use and do to come through and to be able to succeed with this. So I know I'm going to open this up to questions, answer any questions you have. creditsuite.com/resources is where you can grab all of those resources that we actually have, creditsuite.com/resources, and that walks you through the entire process. So I'm going to start the wrap up here if you guys don't have any questions, because I don't see any. So look, here's the deal. We just found and tested and proven a way that anybody, even with no experience pitching business credit, can succeed and do $100,000 in sales at one event. We have done this to cold audiences and succeeded. We have done this to cold audiences with somebody else that's never even presented before, presenting and succeeded. So there's no barrier that you can't do this. Will you get the results I do? No, of course not. I've been through this 1,000 times, but we've already proven you can get really good success. It comes down to practice. So if you don't feel comfortable, practice it on your own. But it really comes down to hosting these webinars. Do your own audience. Use your social media to promote it. Use Facebook ads to promote it. Use Facebook Messenger, text, etc. to promote it. Also, you don't have an audience? Well, then go get JVs. I started this webinar by walking you through the process to be able to get JVs. So your JVs can then be able to help you come in and actually succeed that way too. So again, you can use JVs. You can build JV relationships. I mean, think about it. If all you do with your time is just focus on getting JVs, how many of these webinars can you do a month? How many, how much can you make? Right now, we are on track to do 500,000 a month just doing webinars, one webinar a week. So again, guys, this could be absolutely huge for you guys if you're coming in and if you're doing this. And again, you have the presentation, you have the emails, you have the format, you know what to say to JVs, you know how to get them. You have all the pieces to the puzzle. You can even go on YouTube and watch me do many presentations to see exactly how I do the whole thing to get yourself trained. That's exactly what Steve on our team did when he did the presentation. And hey, maybe you screw up the first one, the second one. I still to date have yet to do one that I didn't get off and go, oh man, messed that up. I should have done this different. Should have done that. It's an ongoing learning process. But the bottom line is, if you could successfully even do one of these a month, guys, the commissions and the fees and the money you could make on that could be more money than your business has ever seen. So I think this is something that you should really consider doing. And if we can help you, reach out to the support team along the way. We'll do anything to help you on this end to help you be successful. If you have a database and you want me to do it to your database, using the Credit Suite brand, which maybe you want it, maybe you don't. We can do that. We could sign you up at the highest commission schedule that we have as an affiliate, and we'll do it for you. You'll be our JV if you want to do that for some reason. Some of our partners have. Some of our partners have elected to do it. One of our partners, we're doing his second webinar for him. So again, proven to be very successful, and we're doing a second webinar because he's too busy to sell, and we're like, well, we'll do the webinar for you if you want to, and we're actually doing it. So again, if we can help you along the way, reach out to the support team. We're here to help you. If for some reason you say, this sounds great, but I just want to get the checks and I want you guys to do it, then let us know. We'll do that too. But if you want to do it on your own, go through my webinars, learn, see everything of how I do it, and you have all the pieces now where I think you can be successful. So I don't have any other questions. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Remember, if you have any questions, just reach out to our support team, support@creditsuite.com. We'll get back with you and help you anywhere along the way, or talk to the person that you talked to initially when you came in. They're very familiar with this. They can give you honest feedback. The sales guys you talked to when you first came in are the same guys that are making the sales from these webinars. So if you talk to them and say, tell me, Titus did this webinar on webinars. What if I do one of these webinars? What kind of results have you seen? What kind of customers can I expect to come out of it? The benefit of the webinar is that if you think about what we've done here, we've come in and we basically, man, we've done a lot in 90 minutes. We've come through, we've built all kinds of credibility with all kinds of social proof, over probably 100 points of social proof here. We've taught them what business credit is, why it's awesome, meaning why they should care, why their business is going to struggle without it. We've come in and again, provided all the social proof. We've mapped out the basic steps. And then we've told them honestly, here's the obstacles and problems you're going to face along the way. The new slide I'm going to add is beautiful because the new slide is all the problems, all the questions people ask, all the people that get stuck. I'm going to put that in the closing section. That's one of the next things I'm working on. Then we come in and we show them the live demo. So they see the live demo. They see all these case studies, all these results. Then they come in and see it's more money to do it on their own versus even coming with us. They're seeing, so what we're doing in this presentation is we're basically teaching, here's what business credit is, here's why you should care, here's every benefit, here's an overview of the steps, here's where you're going to screw it up and fail, here's 100 people and 100 results of all these different people that have succeeded using our system. Okay, and here is the demo walkthrough so you can see everything you're getting, how rare it is, and before you even buy. And then we go through a whole closing process of guarantee, and you don't have a lot of risk. It's risk-free, and an overview of what they get. And then we create urgency by putting that it's only valid through this webinar. And again, you only have time to be able to do it until this webinar is done. So everything that gets somebody to buy, you've done in 90 minutes. Tons of social proof, tons of credibility. We've come in now and we've done a live demo. We've taught about what business credit is, why it matters, a whole closing process, guarantee, risk-free, everything that makes people buy, we've put into one 90-minute presentation. So now your sales guy's job is super easy. They're answering questions and getting people signed up. It's about all that's left because now the person's already seen everything. And I use the Q&A. When people ask a question, I use it as an opportunity to go back into the demo and show more stuff. I use it as an opportunity to show our Trustpilot reviews and our credibility. I use the Q&A as an opportunity to get to even more content that I can't get to during the actual webinar. Now, again, if you are an ultimate client, and if not, you can go to creditsuite.com/campaigns and get our campaigns product. This is now part of your process. When people come into your sales funnel, into the ultimate program, into the new marketing automation platform, they get emails. As they click and open emails, they get points. When they get to a certain amount of points, we trigger the 90-minute webinar. We already did the 90-minute webinar for you, completely white label without my info on it. That triggers automatically as part of your marketing and automation campaign. So if you don't have that already, support at creditsuite.com. Go to creditsuite.com/campaigns. Campaign or campaigns, I think it's campaigns with an S, and that will actually show you that campaigns product. That comes with this, and it also comes with 3 videos that sell the finance suite for you. So there's 2 ways we trigger automated sales presentations. So we just put that as part of your process if you're an ultimate or if you already have that. So again, a couple things, a lot of things. You guys can do this on your own now. You know how to do it. You want us to help you, let us know. But this is something you really need to start thinking about how to incorporate into what you do, because it's a lot of money you can make in one 90-minute setting of you sitting there and doing a webinar. And we've tested this so many different ways, so many different times, and proven to be successful that's why I'm here today to talk you through these steps, because I know it's something you can succeed with. I don't have any other questions. I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any questions, reach out to us and let us know, everybody. Support at creditsuite.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.